When it comes to that 2017 Houston Astros cheating scandal, you think of Jose Altuve, you think of Alex Bregman, you think of George Springer, and Carlos Correa. Those are pretty much the four main guys that come to most minds when the topic of the sign stealing comes up. Altuve is still in Houston, so is Bregman, and as far as the other two go, Springer is now in Toronto with the Blue Jays on a big contract, while Correa, after playing for the Minnesota Twins in 2022, will likely not be an Astro again, at least not for a long time, if ever. Jose Altuve was really put front and center of the scandal, taking a lot of heat even though all the evidence points toward him cheating really the least out of any of the Astros hitters. In fact, according to Correa, Altuve got angry when the trash can was banged for him while at the plate one time, so they didn't ever do it for him. Correa, Bregman, and Springer, on the other hand, they certainly used the sign stealing system to their advantage, and it worked. But overall, why are those four players, including Altuve, the poster boys for the cheating? Well, it's simple. They're the most popular hitters with the most established careers in that 2017 lineup. Altuve never deserved the hate he got, at least not to the extreme that he got it. Springer, Bregman, Correa, yeah, those guys deserve what the fans gave them. Do they still to this day? Well, that's up for you to decide whether you're over the cheating or not. There is one player, however, who cheated the most out of anybody and benefited the most, someone who wasn't a part of the four Astros I've mentioned, and that player is Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin Gonzalez was an Astro long before 2017, making his debut all the way back in 2012 when the team was awful. He was never anything that special, having his best season in 2015 where he hit .279 with a .759 OPS, connecting for 12 home runs. The Astros made the playoffs, beat New York, going on to have their season end to the Royals, and 2016 was a bad year for Marwin, as he hit well below league average as Houston missed out on the postseason. And then came 2017. We all know what happened that year. The winning, the championship, the cheating that was eventually exposed, but what a lot of people don't seem to understand, something that just doesn't ever get talked about, is the actual biggest cheater on that Astros team. We already talked about Altuve. As for Correa, Springer, and Alex Bregman, they all cheated and benefited from it, but it was Marwin Gonzalez who was the biggest cheater of them all. Before I get any further, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Over 75% of my watch time has been from people who aren't subscribed. So hit that button along with the bell for post notifications. Okay, back to the video. In 2017, Marwin Gonzalez went off, hitting over 300 with an OPS over 900 while connecting for 23 home runs and driving in 90. Those numbers put up by Marwin in 2017 were the third best out of every qualifying Astros hitter. He was that good, and a big reason as to why the team won the World Series. In Game 2 of the World Series that year, with the Astros' backs against the wall as the Dodgers threatened to take a 2-0 series lead, Gonzalez would connect for a home run off of Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning. I mean, World Series, Game 2, on the road, facing the best reliever in baseball that year, only for Marwin to take him deep to tie it up in a game Houston would go on to win, in a series they'd go on to win. That's big time. Well, Marwin Gonzalez may be the greatest one-and-done player of all time, because we have yet to see any production close to what we saw in 2017. In 2018, Marwin hit right at league average. He wasn't necessarily bad, just not very good, and not good enough to stay on the Astros, going on to get a 2-year deal with the Twins before the 2019 season. Ever since 2019, Marwin Gonzalez has been a below-average hitter. In 2 seasons with the Twins in 2019 and 2020, Marwin hit .248 with an OPS under 700 in 167 games. His OPS plus was 87. For some context there, the league average is 100 when it comes to OPS plus, so Marwin was just a bad hitter, and he's somehow only gotten worse. In 2021, he'd sign a 1-year deal with Boston, hitting right around 277 games for the Red Sox, got released, picked back up by Houston in August for another shot, a shot that didn't last very long as Marwin would play just 14 games before becoming a free agent again. In 2022, right before the season began, he'd find himself with the Yankees now on a minor league deal, making the opening day roster. And it's just, it's been ugly. In 2022, Marwin Gonzalez played 85 games and hit .185 with an OPS under 600. I mean, he was just horrible, and if you couldn't tell by this point in the video, this is not a coincidence. Ever since the cheating was exposed, Jose Altuve has continued to be one of the game's best second basemen. Carlos Correa has continued to be arguably the game's best shortstop. George Springer is one of the game's best outfielders, and after struggling for a little bit, Alex Bregman had a really good 2022 season. Those four really haven't skipped too much of a beat and have continued to play for the most part like they did in 2017. They clearly did not need to cheat. Did it help? Absolutely. But the best players on the 2017 Astros were already great and continue to be. As for Marwin Gonzalez, he absolutely needed to cheat. Thanks to a site called SignStealingScandal.com, there is data that tells us a number of things, like who received the most trash can bangs while at the plate, the percentage of the bangs that had a correct prediction of the pitch, bang percentage, stuff like that. It's pretty interesting to look at, and you know who's at the tippy top of that list? Marwin Gonzalez. He had the most total trash can bangs on the roster with 147 and the most total correct bangs with 136. To put things simply, Marwin Gonzalez cheated the most and easily benefited the most from it all, considering 2017 was the one and only great season he's had in his career. When you compare how Marwin was prior to the cheating compared to during the cheating, or compare how Marwin was after the cheating compared to during the cheating, I mean, it's night and day. He genuinely was an elite hitter in 2017, only to become, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a really bad hitter ever since. In 2017, Marwin Gonzalez hit .303 with a .907 OPS. Ever since then, from 2018 through 2022, Marwin has hit .232 with a .673 OPS in 488 games, striking out 397 times. So it's pretty clear, at least for the time being, Marwin Gonzalez does not seem to be talented enough to be on a major league roster, and that's why he's now going overseas for 2023 to play in Japan, just recently signing a one-year deal worth $1.5 million from the Oryx Buffaloes. It's really incredible to think about how much the cheating actually helped Marwin. Not only did his numbers skyrocket in 2017 and only 2017, but the cheating helped him get $21 million from the Minnesota Twins, money he clearly did not deserve. I have nothing against the guy, but the writing is on the wall. Numbers-wise, Marwin Gonzalez has never been a good hitter other than the year he cheated with the Astros. And again, there were players on that team who did not cheat, like Jose Altuve, and thanks to the data at SignStealingScandal.com, we know who exactly cheated and just how much, and Marwin Gonzalez is the biggest cheater from the 2017 Houston Astros. It helped him out, getting him a championship and good money. But now that Marwin Gonzalez can't cheat anymore, off to Japan he'll go.